Good evening and thanks for joining us for this edition of the news for Thursday, the 8th of April 2021. Let's begin the news with a headline. Pascal Monkam, Cameroon's fallen business giant, has taken his final step to meet his ancestors in the land of no return. The business tycoon's mortal remains arrived in Cameroon today in preparation for a state funeral reserved for him this weekend. This is the sole headline we have on tonight's newscast, but the details of this story as well as other stories would be yours when we return after this short break. Good evening once again and thanks for joining us for this edition of the news in the English language here on DBS television. I am Cynthia Ngwemo. Like you heard on our headline, Cameroon's deceased business mogul Pascal Monkam has returned to the country today in his mortal remains while his burial is underway. After he died on March the 1st, 2021 in Pretoria, South Africa, the Cameroonian billionaire and founder of La Falaise Hotel Group would be buried on Saturday, 10th of April 2021 in a state funeral in Bakassa, his village in the Opankam division of the West region. He today began his last journey as his corpse arrived at the Douala International Airport at midday. Following the arrival of his corpse, a series of activities were carried out with his mortal remains in the company of his family and authorities of the littoral region, amongst whom was the governor Samuel Dieudonné Ivaha Diboa, who used the occasion to shower appreciation on Pascal Monkam regarding his economic and moral strength in Cameroon. Let's now listen to Governor of the Littoral region as he pays tribute to fallen Pascal Monkam.
Pascal Monkam is a rock of our economy. He has built many things, not only hotels, but he is the one who was determined to see how Cameroon is growing as far as economic is concerned, tourism and also. But I can say that it's a special man who is going like this. I knew him when I was a senior general officer of Opankam division, and I saw how he was working. And I can say we are losing somebody who was very powerful for all. There was no discrimination at his level, no tribalism. He is the one who helped those who are coming to him. And one day when I was young in Bafang, I was in the secondary school there, and people came to attend a burial ceremony, and he let everybody taking keys for rooms in his hotel. But around 8 p.m. he came and asked everybody, "What's your name?" "I'm Tienche, give me key back." "What's your name?" "I'm Monkam, give me the key." "What's your name?" "I'm Nolowe, give me the key." He took all the keys of all people that have a link with Opankam. So he told them, "Go and build your house. You cannot come at your village and you decide to come to the hotel. Go and build." And from that day, every people that were dwellers there just decided to go and build houses. So it's have given me a way of somebody who was very powerful and also determined to see how everybody is going in this economy.
Oral tests for various administrative competitive examinations that is in the East region of Cameroon would soon be made available in all headquarters of the various divisions. The announcement was made by the Minister of Public Service and Administrative Reforms, Joseph Le, during a working visit he made in the region recently. Joy Ngong has the details.
It is a very warm welcome that was reserved for the Minister of Public Service and Administrative Reform, Joseph Lay, in the East Region. A visit which constitutes the 9th stage of a series of working visits in the 10 regions of the country in a bid to raise public officials' awareness of the measures to simplify and dematerialize administrative procedures. For this first phase, the Minister visited the Multifunctional Youth Center of Abongbang, where the oral tests of the administrative competitive examinations will take place in the Onyong division in the days ahead. Joseph Lay remarked that the center is in need of a facelift and computer equipment with a good internet connection. Meanwhile, at the Paul Biya Center of Abongbang, situated at the African Computer Science Institute, the computer system is sufficient enough for the oral test via video conferencing, hence the satisfaction of the Minister of Public Service after this first phase of the visit to the East Region.
Last year we started by headquarters of the regions. It was a full success. So this year we want to see what can be done in the divisions. That's why we have got stops in Akorodinga this morning, in Abongbang at midday, and we will also go to Baturi to see what is already there with EIE, Centre d'Excellence Technologique Paul Biya, and also with centers of the Ministry of Youth, so that we can see what we may add to what already exists and start with some pilot divisions this year.
The working visit of Public Service Minister to the East Region therefore began with the assessment of digital devices present in these two structures in the Onyong division. The next stop is at Baturi in the Kadei division of the East Region.
Traditional rulers of the Nyomo clan, that is in the Central region of Cameroon, have been schooled on better ways to handle land disputes. This was during a capacity building seminar organized by the Peace and Reconciliation Committee of the Archdiocese of Yaoundé. Details of the story with Ate Bonaventure.
Land disputes in Cameroon are best known to occur between groups of local populations and people originating from elsewhere on one hand, and unresolved inheritance differences and double sales of land. The Archdiocese of Yaoundé, through the Peace and Reconciliation Committee, has taken an initiative to sensitize denizens of local communities on best ways of avoiding the land-related disputes. It was a topic of discussion at this meeting between the committee members and traditional authorities of the Nyomo clan in the Mefo Akono division of the Central region. All we have done today has enabled us to be edified on what we are supposed to do as traditional rulers on land problems, and to accompany President Paul Biya as a man of peace. The aim of the encounter was to school the custodians of tradition on laws that govern land tenure in Cameroon and give them insights on how to better handle cases at their level. When rich investors come here to invest on our land, our direct hierarchy doesn't get us involved in the process. They usually put us behind. At the end of the day, we earn nothing. Some of the local chiefs who didn't receive enough formal education are sometimes misguided by their own subjects for selfish reasons. According to a recent study, majority of court cases in the Central region stem from land disputes.
Regional councillors in the far north have been sensitized on the preparation of the first program budget for the 2021 fiscal year. The newly elected authorities received support, knowledge or support simply from the Ministries of Finance and that of Economic Planning and Regional Development. Details of the story with Joy Ngong.
As first-timers in the regional councils, the newly elected regional executive need huge support in the preparation of their program budget. At the Marua Town Hall, the Far North was subjected to a harmonized program that was launched on April 6th and lasted for 2 days. The authorities assigned to this council benefited from advisory support from the Ministry of Finance and equally the Ministry of Economic Planning and Regional Development, an initiative of the government which arrives at the right time.
As you know, we have been waiting for this seminar in order to put in place the basis of our budget, 3-year budget program, as you know, because right now the law wants us to establish a 3-year program. And the team coming from Yaoundé, constituted of 3 ministry, representative of 3 ministries.
The workshop, chaired by the Inspector General of the Governor's Office, were punctuated by speeches, one of which laid emphasis on the responsible management of the set budget from the 2021 fiscal year.
Now we take you for a discovery, and our location is the Ndom E Betabok, which is a historic, cultural and touristic site in the south region of Cameroon. Distinguished by an age-long tree right at the center, this place is considered a sacred one for inhabitants of the area. Let's now discover this historic touristic site in the following report prepared for us by Mange Venasius.
Ndom E Betabok, one of those historic sites in the south region of Cameroon, still preserves its originality. Situated close to the Samba market in the south region, this historic site presents an unbelievable image which can simply be considered a baobab on a rock. This extraordinary touristic site, according to Ndele Paul Richard, a patriarch of this village, is said to have existed for more than 200 years. It is being taken care of by the Ebolova Urban Council, who have opened the area as a relaxation spot for city dwellers and visitors. Villagers believe that the baobab possesses some sacred powers that are inherently related to the daily lives of the population. They believe that once the baobab sheds one of its branches, then this is a sign that someone in the community, a personality, is likely going to die. The divisional delegate of tourism from Villa Division, Madame Mireille Zo-Luman, affirmed that this touristic site receives hundreds of visitors yearly. As such, this site undoubtedly is part of the heritage of the Ministry of Tourism. The ministry therefore has every right and reason to safeguard and preserve this site for posterity.
In sports, works have resumed at the Olembe Sports Complex in the town of Yaoundé. The remobilization of technicians for the work comes as a backdrop of the delay in the delivery date. Ate Bonaventure paid a visit to this sports complex and prepared the following report.
This is the current phase of the 60-seater capacity stadium at Olembe. Works at the football facility were halted due to lack of finance, but the head of state lately disbursed 55 billion CFA francs for job to continue. The roofing of the main stadium is over. The embellishment of the outer shelf is ongoing and will take some 35 weeks to get it done. 29 circumference cables beefing up lighting will be at the arena, and public address systems are also being installed. On a routine visit to the sports complex, Sports and Physical Education Minister Professor Narcisse Mwele Kombi has come to mobilize the employees.
Me, I am special for the steel structure. Okay, the erection and to finish all the steel structure. This is my job here.
In May this year, a CAF delegation is expected in Cameroon to inspect the stadium and facilities that are to host the 2021 AFCON, slated for January 2022.
Now I have 24 persons, but I need more. I am going to finish the job what remains. Only that. And there is not too much.
Dressing rooms, toilets, skyboxes and conference rooms are in good shape. Contractors intend to finish with the playground by November this year.
Now we talk sports. In Ivory Coast, ex-president Laurent Gbagbo has been set free to return home after he was acquitted of charges against humanity by the International Criminal Court. And President Paul Kagame of Rwanda has accepted a report which poses great responsibility on France over the 1994 genocide. Finally, in Sudan, the death toll from the recent Darfur intercommunal conflicts has risen to 87, with the number of wounded people rising to 194. These stories are given in details in the following with Rogea Tububa.
Former president of Ivory Coast, Laurent Gbagbo, and one of his right-hand man are free to return home following their acquittal of charges of crimes against humanity. The incumbent president, Alassane Ouattara's remarks on Wednesday came a week after the International Criminal Court upheld Gbagbo's acquittal, with appeals judges confirming that he was finally in clear over a wave of post-electoral violence. Post-election violence coiled into a civil war that claimed the lives of 3,000 people. Supporters of Gbagbo say it will heal the country's wounds and pave the way for his successful return to the West African country. Rwandan President Paul Kagame on Wednesday welcomed a report concluding that France bears overwhelming responsibilities over the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi ethnic group. A commission established by French President Emmanuel Macron said last month France had remained blind to preparations for the mass killing of some 800,000 Rwandans. In his first remarks since the release of the report, Kagame said it marks an important step towards a common understanding of the event. The genocide between April and July 1994 began after Rwanda's Hutu president, with whom Paris have cultivated close ties, was killed on April 6. The death toll from intercommunal clashes in Sudan's West Darfur state has escalated to 87, with 191 people injured. According to the United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, over 3,000 people have fled the neighborhood to nearby mosques and public buildings. Several health facilities were equally attacked, and medical workers still face difficulties in transporting the injured to hospitals. The unrest poses a challenge to efforts by Sudan's transitional government to end decades-long rebellions in areas such as Darfur, where conflict often falls along ethnic lines. The clashes forced the United Nations to suspend all humanitarian activities, which serves as a hub for aid delivery to the conflict-wrecked region.
We have come to the end of today's edition of the news in the English language on DBS television with me, Cynthia Ngwemo. Thank you for watching. Have a great evening on DBS television and see you tomorrow for the last edition of the week. Goodbye.